Nothing better than a love story, a real life love story. In our virtual green room, Anthony Balista, and boy, he's written such a lovely book of poems, such a dedication to his wife, his beloved wife. It's called Our Own Westside Love Story, with words from today to Marie, including poems born of enduring love. He joins us on Author's Corner here on America tonight with me, Kate Delaney. Anthony, thanks so much for coming on to share your story.
Well, thanks for having me, Kate.
So, first of all, let's talk about how you met your wife. You know, it's always interesting. People always say, well, how'd you meet this partner that you were crazy in love with, and how'd that all happen in this world that we live in where it's hard to be matched sometimes? How'd you meet her?
Well, it was purely by accident. I was on military leave, getting ready to possibly retire within a year, and I was out checking the job market. I was in my hometown, and I went to a personnel agency, and I knew about the agency. I'd been there for years, but I didn't know about Marie. And she happened to be there at the counter and said that she would be willing to look over my resume and talk about job market. And so I came back a couple hours later for an interview with her, and at that point I asked her to dinner because I was bored. I'd been on 54 days of leave. I had so much on the books I had to take it. And so then I just asked her to dinner, and we made a date for dinner 3 days later, the night before I was leaving for my next duty station.
Wow, and do you remember what the dinner was like? Because sometimes that first dance can be awkward, and it was brave of you. You asked her out. Like you said, you were bored, but she was attractive. You asked her out, and then what's the dinner like?
Well, we went to a place that's no longer exists in our town here, the Golden Gate Restaurant, and we actually had a nice dinner, and we actually, believe it or not, we actually double dated in a sense with my stepdad and his girlfriend. And so we decided afterwards to go to a movie because it was pretty early. It was just a dinner. We talked amongst ourselves. So we really didn't get to talk much to each other because we were, you always have that crosstalk at the table. And so we went off to the movies, and that's when it all happened instantly.
Wow. And what was life like with Marie when you decide you get married and that love story unfolds and all these words are in your head that pour out into this poetry? Before we get there, what was life like?
Oh, it was, there's some things you can't describe beyond wondrous. I mean, I have no words for Marie. I mean, she was just, there was like a miracle. I mean, I never, ever, I'm not introverted, but I'm not, one of these guys that goes around, being a loud person, but I was just so taken by her.
And how long are you married?
Well, 33 years.
Wow.
Until I lost her to complications from, she went in for quadruple bypass surgery, heart surgery, and never came home.
Oh. But still that memory is so strong, and you've got 4 children, you have 9 grandchildren, you're in, you live in Ohio, and we want to thank you too, because you hear Anthony talking about this, but he's a retired U.S. Army Vietnam veteran. You did 6 overseas deployments. Wow. 2 each to Korea, Vietnam, and Germany. What was that like, your life in the service?
The service life was pretty tough. It caused a lot of problems. It caused my first divorce. It's tough. I mean, you go there, you never know what's going to happen. And when I was in Vietnam the first time, I almost didn't get home because I was walking down the street one day and a lot of sand in the Trang of Vietnam. It's a port city, and it's also like a beach city, and a lot of sand. And anyway, I was walking down the street, and all of a sudden, woke up in a pool of blood. Don't know what happened. Never did. Was never ever told what happened. I just know I came back with a few bruises and stitches, and this could have been the end, but God didn't decide it wasn't time yet.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for that sacrifice, and what a great encounter that you met her. And the name of the book again is Our Own Westside Love Story, and it really is. It's with words from Tony to Marie, including what we're talking about here. Born of this enduring love. I mean, that's part of that title, because that's what they had between them for both of them. So what made you write the book, put your poems in there?
Well, I've written some of these poems years ago, and some I wrote in retrospect, and because she's constantly on my mind. I mean, it's been 10 years since I lost her, but I still, every week, I take fresh cut flowers to her grave. She deserves that for what she gave me. And these poems are just what I felt about her. You can write a poem. You can feel something, or you can say something. You can express your feelings. Now, you can scream and yell, rant and rave, or you can, laugh or cry or whatever. Those are verbal things. But what you feel inside is always stronger than what you can express. And so the poems express my love for her, but really they probably don't do her justice. I just never... It's like the poem, by Joyce Kilmer, poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. And, only God could make Marie. So, I don't ever think I will ever fully pay her justice by what I've said about her.
Do you have a favorite poem in the collection?
No, I've written so many poems to her over the years, but there's one that kind of stands out. It's called, there's a couple in there. One's For the Glory of Love. It's, for the glory of love, I will hold you dear. I can't even think of the words right now. It's a poem about loving her. It has a lot to do with was a favorite song we had from Karate Kid 2. I don't know if you saw the movie or not, sure. But it was by Peter Cetera, the song For the Glory of Love. And I wrote a little poem about it, about the glory of love, and about how I would always love her. That song is beautiful, and it matches what you're saying. I love that. And again, I want to tell everybody that they can get the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and it's Our Own Westside Love Story. It's a beautiful cover with yellow roses in your picture. Well, we used to drive down the street, and when that song would come on, we'd hold each other's hand and cry. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. That was our song, For the glory of love, I will live my dream to hold you dear in high esteem. For the glory of love, I will hold you dear, and within my heart forever near. it's a little poem I wrote. There's a couple others in there. And the one I wrote when I lost her, it's called Ode to Maurice in there too. And there's a few in there that express our love as being eternal. I've had so many. I wrote her so many poems. I only had room, for so many.
Yeah, you only had so much room you could put in this book. Well, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful book, and it really teaches you about that, like you say, that enduring love. And you obviously had that, and a special lady, there's no doubt about it. It's a very special book, a wonderful book. Thank you so much for sharing your words with us. Anthony Balista, thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you, Kate. I appreciate you taking the time.